The rise of the papacy and the shift of power. The story we are about to explore is not just the chronicle of an institution, but a human drama set against the backdrop of a world in tumultuous change. The Roman Empire, a colossus that had dominated the world for centuries, was crumbling. This decline was not a sudden catastrophe, but a long and agonizing unraveling. As the empire's political and military strength weakened, a new dynamic emerged: the shift in the balance of power. At the heart of this shift, a new actor slowly entered center stage: the Bishop of Rome, the spiritual leader of a growing faith that was destined to shape the coming era. The Bishop of Rome was not yet the all-powerful pope of later centuries. His position was still somewhat fluid, a primus inter pares among the bishops. But he was beginning to gain influence, and his role was slowly becoming more central. This was a pivotal moment for both Christianity and the broader world. The landscape of this story was forever altered by the actions of one man, Emperor Constantine. He was not just a military conqueror, but a shrewd strategist who understood the deep currents of his time. In the early 4th century, he made a decision that would prove revolutionary. He moved the Roman Empire's capital from the ancient heart of Rome to the strategically vital city of Byzantium, which he would rename Constantinople. This move was more than just geographical. It was a deliberate shift away from the fading power of the old Roman order toward the dynamic East. Constantine saw the power of Rome's traditions as an impediment to his control. The relocation was also meant to enhance his personal power and secure his rule. This act marked a profound turning point in not only the political history of the Roman Empire but also in the history of Christianity. Paradoxically, while Constantine's move would eventually challenge the authority of the Bishop of Rome, his early actions were crucial in the rise of Christianity and the strengthening of the bishop's position. Before Constantine's reign, Christians were often persecuted, forced to practice their faith in secret. But in 313 AD, Constantine, together with Licinius, issued the landmark Edict of Milan, a proclamation that legalized Christianity and allowed it to flourish in the open. This shift was nothing short of seismic, enabling the faith to spread rapidly across the empire. As Christianity grew, the term Catholic, meaning universal, began to gain currency. The Bishop of Rome started to be increasingly viewed as a leader and an anchor for this expanding faith. However, his position was not yet absolute. He was seen more as the keeper of the keys of the church, a symbol of leadership, but not yet the sole authority in Christian matters. However, power vacuums rarely stay unfilled. A new rival for religious authority was on the rise. With the imperial power firmly established in Constantinople, the Church in the East began to develop its own identity and leadership structure. The Bishop of Constantinople, backed by the might of the Byzantine Empire, began to assert his independence. Gradually, the Bishop of Constantinople adopted the title of Patriarch of Constantinople, and started acting more autonomously. The Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, was a place of immense wealth, flourishing trade, and a growing sense of self-awareness. Under the patronage of the emperor, the Patriarch of Constantinople grew in power and authority. The Byzantine emperors, who saw themselves as the divine protectors of both church and state, viewed the Patriarch as an important extension of their power. This shift in religious power was also a clash of cultures and political strategies. Seeking to maintain his influence, the emperor, by this time seeing himself as the protector of the Eastern Church, bestowed the title of Ecumenical Patriarch upon the Bishop of Constantinople. This title placed him on par with the Bishop of Rome, especially within the Byzantine Empire. It was a deliberate assertion of imperial power but also a catalyst for the growing divide between East and West within Christianity. In the West, under the guidance of the Bishop of Rome, the faith began to take on different nuances and interpretations. In the East, the influence of Constantinople led to the development of a separate identity for Eastern Christianity. While the two branches of Christianity shared common roots, they were beginning to diverge, driven by differences in culture, politics, theology, and practical concerns. The situation in the West only grew more complicated. While Constantinople was flourishing, the Western Roman Empire was in disarray, collapsing under the weight of constant barbarian invasions from various Germanic tribes. Rome, once the heart of a global empire, was now a city under threat. It faced an uncertain future. Here, the political acumen of the bishops of Rome came to the forefront. The papacy had to adapt. As the Roman state dissolved, the Bishop of Rome found his political power weakening. Yet, his spiritual influence steadily rose. As the empire fell apart, the Bishop of Rome stepped in to fill the vacuum left behind. He offered stability, leadership, and comfort to a population desperate for hope. In the chaos and violence of the post-Roman West, the Bishop of Rome became a beacon, a unifying force in a fragmented society. He provided continuity in a world of turmoil. The Church did not only offer spiritual solace but also practical help, running hospitals and educating the populace. The bishop's growing influence began to transcend the purely spiritual realm. He became a political leader, a mediator, and a symbol of resistance to the invading forces. It was in the heart of a collapsing empire that the seeds of what would become the papacy began to take root and grow. The Pope, once a spiritual leader, was emerging as a central figure not only in religious life but also in the political and social structures of the West. As the Western Roman Empire continued to crumble and the Byzantine Empire grew stronger, a new force emerged on the horizon. In the Arabian Peninsula, a new religion was taking root, Islam. Islam was not just another faith, it was a vibrant and expanding force. Within a few generations, it would conquer vast swaths of territory, including lands that had been part of both the Roman and Byzantine empires. This new power further complicated the political and religious situation for both the Eastern and Western churches. In response, both branches of Christianity had to adapt and redefine their places in the world. The rise of Islam deepened the divide between the East and the West. Each church developed its own response, and each struggled to maintain its power and identity in the face of this new and rapidly expanding force. The events of this era, the rise of Constantinople, the invasions by barbarian tribes, and the rise of Islam, contributed to the growing divide between the Western Church and the Eastern Church. These were not just theological disputes, they were power struggles over influence and leadership within the Christian world. This early division would lay the groundwork for what would later become the Great Schism, the formal separation between the Catholic and Orthodox churches. The repercussions of this divide echoed through the centuries, shaping the course of Christian history. The papacy, born in the crucible of these events, emerged as a unique force, one that would shape the destiny of Western Christianity. The tale of the rise of the papacy and the shifting of power from Rome to Constantinople is not just a chronicle of ancient conflict. It is a story of human ambition, religious conviction, and the constant dance of power. Even in the most seismic of times, it is often the smallest and most overlooked institutions that become the most enduring and transformative forces. The decisions made during this period not only divided a religion but also shaped the future political and religious landscapes for centuries to come. The fall of the Roman Empire was not just an ending, it was a birth, a beginning of a new era that continues to influence our world today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories from World History Marathon.